Welcome to the Behind the Art Inspiration podcast, where we delve into the creative processes and stories of 14 artists around the world. In these episodes, we go behind the scenes with artists who are part of the International Online Art Collective, learning about their inspiration, challenges, and techniques while collaborating on our chain reaction project. Beginning with one single piece, each piece of art informs the next, provoking a chain reaction of other artworks until we have created 100 artworks assembled into one big multimedia installation. In this episode, we have the pleasure of interviewing artist Karin McCombe Jones, who hails from Wales and now resides in New Zealand. Through our conversation with Karin, we'll gain insights into her creative process and the inspirations that drive her work. I'm artist Caroline Karp, filming from my Clearwater, Florida studio. So sit back, relax, and enjoy us as we go behind the art and discover the fascinating world of Karin and her art. How are you doing, Karin?
Kia ora from Wellington, Caroline. I'm good, thank you. Good.
Awesome. And we were just talking that it's the middle of summer here, July in the States, and in New Zealand, it's winter. It just blows my mind.
Yeah. And as I was saying, I have difficulty with that still, getting my head around it. But yeah, cold here.
So this is a kind of a really nice podcast. It'll be a lot of fun because we're actually at the end of our project and we're finalizing things, and I actually shipped mine today.
Whoa!
I shipped them to Wendy in New York, and we're getting ready for our exhibition, our first exhibition, which is in November.
Yeah.
So it's a monumentous occasion. So Karin, tell me about like your experience and your memorable things about this whole chain reaction project.
I've loved being a part of it. There were times when we had that sort of 7-day, possibly 10-day span of creating, and I was like, I can't do it in that time. I just can't, because I spend a long time building up layers of my work. So a couple of times artists were kind enough to say, show me what you have, and then you can just do a little bit more, finish off a little bit more to it. I had moments of absolute joy when I saw the work before me, and I was like, yes, they've been kind. They've got this color in there that I can resonate with. Or the very first one that I did, which was from I received from Ina, gosh, way back, was it 2-3 years ago now?
Yes.
And I was just like, straight away, I saw something and I thought, I know what I'm doing. There was no doubts, I just knew. A couple of other times I received one and I was a little bit like, oh, what am I going to do with this one? So right. I've had moments of absolute joy and then not worry, because I knew I would get it done. Because that's just my mindset. I'm not going to complete it. But there was one piece in particular. I won't name the artist, but I just was like, oh.
Was it black and white?
It wasn't, actually. It wasn't.
Okay.
It wasn't. But that would have thrown me.
I was kind of thrown. I was like, what? Okay, so I was just looking through the files and I saw a jellyfish. And I also responded to a jellyfish. I responded to Ruth's jellies that she was painting while she was on her boat. And she was on her boat and she was painting the jellyfish that were under the water. And I brought it back above the water, and then they became the masts of sailboats. So do you remember who you were reacting to when you?
I do.
Yeah.
And Adela, it was her hair. her hair and the tendrils that she had painted in her a portrait with this hair, just I saw jellyfish. And because I do lots of endangered species and paintings, yeah, that was my so it wasn't jellyfish that was the chain reaction. It was tendrils of hair for me.
Now I just learned this about you because I am on Instagram and follow you. You have something really kind of something to celebrate.
I do.
Tell
I
us.
do.
Tell us.
So I was contacted a couple of weeks ago and was asked, would I have my Welsh landscapes in the British High Commission here in Wellington for the King's birthday party, which is happening on the 30th of June. They are having rooms from the United Kingdom, so they're changing the rooms. And I am in the Welsh room, the themed room, and they're taking down amazing artworks. I was lucky enough to go and visit last week, and I was in awe when I saw the works that they have at this homestead. So the High Commission is one of the oldest buildings in New Zealand, in Wellington, 1847, which from where I'm from in Wales, that's not very old. But here, that's old. It's this beautiful, beautiful old building. So when I walked in and I saw some Francis Hodgkin's work up on one wall, and I saw this amazing painting of the Queen from her coronation in 1953, and then other famous New Zealand artists, I was just, oh my goodness, my work is actually going in a room. Just my work. The other ones are coming down. It's just going to be my work for this King's birthday party. And the room is also going to have Penderyn whiskey, which is from Swansea. They're going to have Welsh cheeses, and it's all about Wales. And then another room is all about England, and they're going to have a red telephone box. They're going to have London gin, dry gin. So you get the idea that each room is themed. I know, when I first got this message, I thought, oh, is this one of those awful scams? And I'm going to be all excited, but no, it's a genuine reach out, and yeah.
That is just so fabulous. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Was that something that they just found you, or did you?
Yes, they did. Wow. They did. They were just looking and searching for those connections of artists who are in New Zealand now, but have the connections with, let's say, the homeland. And then Her Excellency Iona Thomas and her assistant Jackie were scrolling through and saw mine and were like, oh yes. But when they first got in touch, I was like, I don't have lots of those Welsh landscapes now. They've been sold or they were commissions.
Right.
So I have a daffodil, which is the national flower of Wales, above my bed, which is I did two. One was Land of My Father's, and the other one is Land of My Mother's, which is the one I've kept. So that one's going to be shown, along with the beach, my favourite beach on Anglesey, which is called Porthdafod. And I still own that one of those. I've created 5 different versions of Porthdafod, and the 4 others are commissions. I have one, and that's going. So I'm busy painting a brand new one, a very large one.
I guess it's got to be large, huh? So that you can fill some space.
Yes, yes. And I've got some Welsh lambs that are going, and there's another one, a Llyn Maelog, which is Llyn is lake in Welsh, and that's on Anglesey. So that one is going to go there too.
Wow.
So yeah. I know.
Are you going to be able to film them in the room?
Hopefully. And they said, there'll be lots of photographs, opportunities for photographs and things too. So I'm hoping so. Yeah.
That's just fabulous. Wow.
I know.
So pretty soon you're going to be packing up your chain reaction pieces.
Yeah.
So that they can be shipped to the United States.
Yeah.
And unwrapped by Wendy and sort of all prepared in the same way. And then at the show at the gallery in Western New York, they'll be hanging side by side, and the size is like right behind you, right? Or is that a bigger one?
No, sorry, that's bigger.
It is
I could show
bigger.
you the back of one for the
Yes.
size comparison.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay. Right.
that's the size comparison.
Mhm. Yeah. And let's see. So tell me who were you reacting to when you did the surfer? And I know that's your son, right?
It is. And it was from his surfboard as well that I sort of got the inspiration for them. So the one before was Wendy's, and it was one of her feathers,
Ah,
and it had this sort of curl coming from it or through it. And straight away I saw a wave, and just thought it'd be quite nice to have, the sun's surfboard and connection to it. So yes,
and how old is he?
he's 24. He turned 24 in May.
I've talked to,
Yeah.
it's funny because I've had several podcasts and they're moms of boys that are around 24, 25, and my boys are 23 and 25. So
Yeah.
I'm just seeing an interesting thread happening. Anyways, um, is there anything else that you would like to tell anybody about one of your reactions in particular? We never reacted to each other. I don't think we were on either side.
No, I don't think we did.
No.
Which originally in my head, I thought we were all going to react to each other at some stage.
Right.
So I think you might have reacted to one of mine.
I don't
I'm
think
not
so.
sure.
No.
No. Okay. So I am a storyteller. My art always has stories, even if you can't necessarily see it straight away. If somebody's viewing my work, they can ask, and I will say, this is what I was feeling, or this is the story behind it. So I've got a couple that are very linked to Wales. In New Zealand, there's Te Reo Māori will talk about whenua, which is your land. And there's this longing about putting your feet on your land. And in Welsh, it's hiraeth. It's that feeling of you want to go back. You need to touch your land of ancestry or your home. So that came through a couple of times with my work. And one time I've included a dragon, and I've included words that my friend that I call a sister from who I've known since I was 5 back in Wales, she came out and she was visiting as I was painting. So she chose some Welsh words from the national anthem, but I didn't want to be the one to choose them. So she chose them, and then I incorporated those, and the thread linked to Susan's beforehand. And there was that sort of thread of my ancestry, my friend being here, the link to Susan's work. So that was quite an important one. And then I'm surrounded by ferns where I live. I live sort of in the bush here in New Zealand. And I was very kindly gifted very green work from one of the artists. And straight away, I just thought of this is serendipitous. And I was clearing out a box as well. And when I was clearing out this box, the one exhibition I'd been in was called Serendipity. And as I lifted this box, the page that it came onto was serendipity. And I thought, look, I've been gifted this. It's serendipity. I've been gifted something that can link to the green ferns all around me. And I'm looking at this past sort of theme for an exhibition. So some of it, I found that sort of fate of what I've been gifted by the person before, or
Yes.
to use that word, serendipity.
Yes.
Mm.
When I was boxing up my pieces and remembering what inspired me, it's just so fascinating what can happen. Like somebody can send you a photograph of something, and then you look at it and you think, I see a bird, I see a circle, I see something else.
Mm.
And in your
Yeah.
mind, it just explodes into, oh, well, the circle has turquoise in it. That reminds me of water,
Yeah.
right? And so I took Ina's beautiful bird, because she photographs birds, landing, and I pictured it. I saw it from I did a bird's eye view of a vista. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah.
because there was a bird, I didn't paint a bird. I thought of bird's eye view, because typically I don't paint a bird's eye view. Typically I'm painting like
Yes.
very right there in your face. So it the project stretched me in different ways. Stretched me because I'm usually painting large, and then so going small,
Mm.
that stretched me. And when I did get Morrison's black and white piece of Lotus Impressions, what I responded to was the picture, but it was mostly the writing,
Right.
the narrative of the story behind it.
Yeah.
And it was Valentine's Day in the States.
Yeah.
And he sent me an EKG,
Right.
like his EKG, but done in Lotus. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
did you send me a Valentine? Right. And so that's where I took it from. So it's a visual reaction, it's an emotional reaction, and it's
Mm.
also sort of reading what the narrative is. And
Yeah.
the project, I think, is going to be a book. Is it going to come out as a
Yes.
book?
Yeah. Or a magazine. I definitely know a magazine. So yes.
So
Yeah.
the writing will be there.
Yes. I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you
So
so
I
much
went
for
with.
joining me today.
You're welcome. I've enjoyed it.
Yes, and if people out there listening and watching, if you want to learn more about chain reaction and what we've been talking about, I'm going to put all the information and the links in the show notes. And
Brilliant.
Karin, where can people find out about you and possibly follow your artwork in your exhibition?
So I'm Karin, Karin, McCombe, MCCOMBE, Jones artist.com website. And that will be the same sort of link as well. It's my Instagram and my Facebook artist pages are the same, Karin McCombe Jones, artist. Yeah.
And that'll all be in the show notes. And thank you, everybody, for listening and watching as I share my love of connection, collaboration, and art. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.